Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm sorry I've been away for so long. The holiday season was pretty hectic. There were some birthdays that fell over the holiday, and including my own. You know, Christmas, New Year's, and there's just a lot. There was a lot going on. I'm back now, and I was just in the middle of processing stuff, and I thought people would probably want to see me do this. So I'm gonna show you guys what I'm doing. I know I have a couple other videos I promised to bring to you, but that will come. I promise it will come. The update videos from the soil mixes and stuff like that, everything's doing great here. I'll show you, give you a little example. This is one of the white wizards that transferred from bad soil to good soil. It's doing great. But I'll go into a more in-depth when I do the update video. For now, I just got a fresh batch of imports. I do get imports because sometimes you just can't find stuff locally at a normal human being price, or you can't find it within the country at all. So we have to go to outside sources to bring them in. Now, there's no reason to be upset that you have an import plant. There's zero reason to be concerned when you get an import. There's a reason to be concerned if you get bad sellers, which happens. But after getting a couple of orders in and you get your feet wet importing, you figure out who's a bad seller, who's a good seller, who can package right, who can't package right. And I happen to have a great contact who packages well, who gives me quality plants every single time they send them. And there has been zero pests, there has been zero issue, and I love it. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing. Oh, hold on here, I gotta bring this back up here. They come like this. When you get an import albo, they will come basically like this, wrapped in sphagnum moss, and 9 times out of 10, there's new root growth already happening in here, which is fantastic. There's some of these roots are so small and fuzzy that there's no way that they packaged them and then wrapped around it, because it's pushing through the moss and on the outside of the plastic here. But let me show you the roots. I'll get the roots out here and give you an idea of what they look like fresh out of the box. So you know that the imports from me aren't going to be rotten pieces of crap. Everybody is scared of that. There are a lot of bad sellers out there that just do not care what they're passing off to their buyers, and I care. I want everybody to see that I'm not giving anybody garbage plants. I'm just going to peel away the moss here. Yeah, there's already new growth. And I'll show you, I'll give you guys a close-up as soon as I get all this crap off of here. They never really send cuttings, unrooted cuttings. They'll send cuttings, but they will always be this rooted. Always be this rooted. So let me get some of the finer pieces of the sphagnum moss off of here, and then I'll push it up to the camera and let you take a look. Every single time I get stuff from my contact, it looks like this. Just absolutely amazing stuff. I always try and guess what they're using as a substrate as well, because whatever they use is amazing. I mean, I know that they have way better sunlight than we do over in Southeast Asia and Indonesia and South America and stuff like that. We don't really have that here in Ohio. Okay. Come on, get out of there. Little tiny pieces of sphagnum moss. Just trying to get them out of there. Almost. Okay. Let me get you a close up here. They always look like this. They're never black, they're never brown, they're never mushy. Every single time, they're just perfect like this. What happens a lot of the time is buyers will get an albo or get an import of anything, and they won't acclimate it properly when they first get it. And they will attribute that decline in the plant to being an import, and it's not true. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna let those breathe for a little bit. I put it in this pitcher right here, and I just do this because it's tall and it's easy to work with. Oh, where are they? There they are. I'm going to start wiping off the leaves because, here, I'll put this closer to the camera as well so I can show you. On the front, you can kind of see the water spots. I don't know if it can or can't. On the back, there are some as well. Lots of water spots. But microfiber gloves are your savior when it comes to water spots. These things, they're a godsend. I'd say they're essential to getting your plants to look their best. I use a little squirt bottle like this. I use these religiously, but I squirt a little bit of water just into the fingertips like that and rub them together. And then I literally just softly wipe all the spots. And they come right off because the microfiber it's not abrasive. It just gets down into the nitty gritty, like little crevices of the leaf and gets that dirt out. But it's not like sandpaper, you know? And while I'm doing this, this gives me an idea, this gives me an opportunity to ask you guys a couple questions. I'm trying to bring a little more content to the channel, but I'm unsure of exactly what to do. There are a couple ideas that I have. Maybe I spend a lot of time in this room. So I was thinking I could start posting videos of just me doing my daily routine or something like that, you know, just random plants, and show you my methods and my practices to kind of just give you an idea of what it takes and what I do and my methods. And you guys can ask questions or give suggestions to that video, or maybe I might even do something live like that where you guys can just ask me questions and suggest different methods that may be a little easier that I haven't thought of. Because we as gardeners, we're just experimenting. To invoke Bob Ross, we're just making happy mistakes. Not really a mistake. It's just an accident. But I spend about, you know, a couple minutes on each leaf making sure that all the gunk is off of it. And doing this also helps it photosynthesize. It gets all the gunk off of there so that sunlight can get through without having to fight through a bunch of hard water stains. And that's pretty important. So a lot of this is hard water stains and and nutrients as well, mixed with nutrients. And it's just solidified on the leaf in the form of water spots. And what that does is it clogs the stomata. Stomata are on the undersides of the leaf and on the edges. They're all over the place, really. And they take in water and nutrients, or they let out excess water and nutrients. Or excess water. They kind of like, have you ever watered your Monstera and the next day it seems to be just weeping? Just like little droplets? Yeah. That's how it gets rid of the excess water, stomata. You clog the stomata with all these hard water, you know, mineral buildup. I'm sorry, I'm fumbling for words right now. It's not really going to be as efficient as it could be. Get a little bit more in here. So yeah, if you guys have any ideas for potential content for me, let me know in the comments. Send me a message. Let me know what I can do to make this channel good for you, because I want to help people that are watching. I also want to learn from you guys as well. It's always a learning process. I learn something new just about every day, and learn something new with plants just about every day. And it's fun. It's fun learning that new thing. Like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. This changes my whole approach. And I get to kind of like figure out what I can do next to get my plants to the next level. To make them to make them produce better, more vibrant foliage. This one was particularly dirty on the underside of the leaf. They use some kind of purple nutrient solution. It's interesting. I don't ever really use nutrient solutions. I do, most of the stuff is in my soil, and my soil has its own kind of nutrients. I put a couple ingredients in the soil, like stratum. I started putting stratum in the soil, and it's working wonders. Man, that stuff is tough to get off. I might have to hit this twice. Just give this a rest from all the abrasion, because I don't want to, like, you can scrape off like the surface area of a leaf if you rub too much and too hard and things like that, and that's just something you don't want to do. It makes the leaf look like crap. At the same time, you don't want to have these clogged stomata. Yeah, I'm going to hit that twice. I'm going to hit it later as well. Just come back after she's, like a couple days later, after it's done reeling from the bath I just gave it. But after I clean all this stuff off, I will pot it up in my own potting soil, the one I was just talking about. Let me take my gloves off so I can get the my tactile feel back. All right, what size pot are we going to use? I'm going to use the soft pots again because I just kind of fallen in love with them, and they're pretty amazing. And I've decided to buy different sizes of them as well. So I've got big, squishy pots. Okay. This is not the tool for this job, but I have to try and do it on camera. I'm going to do this on camera. How about that? This is going to fail miserably. You get to watch me fail. That's the good part about gardening and putting it on YouTube. You guys get to see fails as well as successes, and I feel that's important. Yeah, I'm using my hands. I'm done. All right, just kind of tamping down like this. Shake it a little bit. The soil is super chunky, so it doesn't have a whole lot of support. The plant will kind of like wobble around a little bit, so I just want to, when I get it to a good spot where it is stable and in a position that I want it to begin growing, I will leave it there and I won't touch it for days. I'll let the roots kind of take hold in the soil and build a foundation that it needs. Then after it has that foundation, I might put it in another pot. See, I have this idea that I'm kind of working on with moss poles and pots that are already, see how it's kind of tipping over? I want to connect a moss pole to a pot, but I want these to be able to slide in and out of that pot independently of the moss pole. So I don't want the moss pole down in the pot. I want the moss pole connected to the pot itself. That way, I'll give you a better idea. I'll get a smaller one of these pots here. That way, if this, let's say this is the pot and this is the moss pole, I'm not going to have to worry about putting a moss pole in here and having to worry about, breaking the roots off of it and things like that. I just slide this pot down in there. I just slide this pot down in there with the whole plant in it and tie it to the moss pole. Then, when it gets too big for that moss pole, I will untie it, just pull the plant out, and this is ready for the next plant to put in and tie to the moss pole. That's going to be my big idea, I think. I'm going to start working towards that. So now that it's reasonably stable, that's going to sit, and yeah, it's just tipping over already. I'm going to add some more. So now, take two. Now that it's reasonably stable, I'm going to put it with its friends, because I did get a large number of these. I'm going to put it with its friends where he will stay en route for however long it needs to, and I'm going to work on that moss pole pot, and I'll show that in another video as well. But this is essentially how I process all of my imports. Doesn't have to be an elbow, doesn't have to be anything. Just any import that I get in, I process in the exact same way. I pull it in, I go over it with a fine-tooth comb, I make sure there's no pests, even though there's never been any pests aside from one time for the bad seller, because you're going to get that when you import. You're going to just figure out who's a good seller and who's a bad seller. That was a bad seller. And there, where was I? And I end up processing it in the exact same fashion. Wipe the leaves off and wipe the stems off. I sometimes take these garbage little pieces of brown on the sheath off just because they're unsightly, and I just don't like them. You don't have to do that. That's just me. But yeah, this will stay here just like this until it's ready to go in the larger pot. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm going to tell you about one more thing. If you are local to Northeast Ohio, I'm going to be at a pop-up event on February 5th at the Galaxy in Wadsworth, Ohio. I'll have an 8-foot table with a lot of different plants. It's probably going to be a lot of pink princesses, white wizards. There's going to be a few rares. There's going to be some $5 deals, $10 deals. There's going to be I might bring some Plutos. It really depends on. It's going to be my first pop-up, so I'm kind of feeling it out, kind of figure out what I should be bringing and what I shouldn't be bringing. And I also don't want to bring a bunch of super rares because I don't want to step on anybody's toes. It is my first pop-up. So if you are local to Northeast Ohio, definitely come out. There's going to be 35, 40 vendors, I think, all selling plants and plant paraphernalia and accessories like macrame, pots, custom made, everything. I believe it is animal friendly. There is a cash bar. If you want VIP access, there is early access. You get 20% off of my products. I just hit my microphone, I'm sorry. You get 20% off of my products with the VIP access. After that, which is at 3, from noon to 3 is VIP access. From 3 to 6 is free entry, and everything's just regular normal prices. It's going to be a lot of fun. I really hope to see you guys there. I thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. I'll work on getting those videos as well, the update videos as well. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you guys.